There was a period of time, and it wasn't long ago, when buyers could walk into a real estate transaction and dictate the terms and push the sellers around and get what they wanted out of the deal. Now you have to be prepared for war. You have to be ready to kill. You have to be willing to take no prisoners. Today I want to talk to you about the strategy for buying a house in a tough market when you are going to be potentially competing against multiple people. And I'd like to maybe set the mindset for a home buyer so that you can understand how to prioritize your goals, because this is a very emotional situation that people are in. And, it's hard because there's conflicting ideas. You want to make sure you don't pay too much. You want to make sure that you're getting a good deal. You want to make sure that you're getting the right house, that you're not, getting taken advantage of in some way. Yet there's a contradicting sentiment that is, I need to make sure I get a good house. I need to make sure I get the house that I want. And the problem lies where one side maybe dictates the holding back and the withholding of whatever's necessary in order to make sure you get the house that you want. And the worst thing that can happen is not that you pay too much. It's actually that you don't get the house that you want, because maybe you pay $10,000 too much for a house. Maybe you pay $20,000 too much for a house. God forbid your payment is $87 a month higher, okay? Maybe you missed the house of your dreams and now someone else is living in it. I would say that's worth way more than $87. My name is Brian Mayer with the Mayer Group at eXp Realty. And today I want to tell you my strategy for how to go to war when it comes time to selling a house. So I've personally been involved in hundreds of real estate transactions, and I consider myself to be extremely aggressive. And that really helps when the market is tough, because I recognize that there's going to be other people competing for the same things that my clients want. So we're going to talk today about how to win and what is the right mindset. All right, so the first thing that you want to do is you want to be clear about what you will and won't do. And that could change, but you still want to stay within those. And what I mean is, come up with a payment. Don't go over your payment. When you start going outside of your comfort zone or what you told yourself you would or wouldn't do, you're going to start to waver and waffle, hesitate. That hesitation can be deadly, okay? This is war, all right? Once you're clear about what you want, then you need to go see a lot of houses with the intention of not necessarily buying one. What your priorities are and what your goal is to feel the market out, to feel the types of houses in the price range, the areas out, so that you can become crystal clear about the house that you really do want, the one you're willing to fight for. So then when the house that is your perfect house comes on the market, you are willing to do whatever it takes to get it. I can't tell you how many times I've worked with some clients, and especially first-time home buyers, and especially people that are buying houses with their parents, okay? It is what it is, right? There's this idea that, I need to make sure that I get what I'm supposed to get, and I need to make sure, right? And then what happens is maybe a couple houses come up that fit this criteria. Well, I'm not going to do this, and I'm not going to do that. And then it's like, well, it's not meant to be, okay? I have a saying, and what's meant to be is what you make be. All right. So miss out on a couple houses and then people start to come around. So the other side of that spectrum is somebody walks into a house, maybe they've missed out on a couple, or maybe they've been waiting and maybe they are, following this process and they're ready, and they walk in and they're like, Brian, get me this house. I don't care what it takes. Do what you got to do. I'm ready. I've done what I need to do. I need you to give me this house. Okay. So they're ready for war. What does that look like? All right. The first thing is you need to get there first. And I have a system that'll give you these houses through your email as many as 3 weeks before it even comes on the market. That's key, because if a house is coming soon and you know about it, you need to drive out there. You need to look at the neighborhood, talk to the neighbors, do your research, Google it. Whatever you need to do to make sure you're comfortable with the neighborhood and the area and where this place is, and that you definitely want to live there. And then the only thing left to do is actually see the inside. You've already seen the pictures. You've already looked at the yard. You've looked at the neighborhood. You've driven up and down the street. You've hopefully at this point seen other houses. It's time to go inside, but you have to get there first. God forbid you get there 3 days in, there's already 3 offers. Then at that point, you're kind of stuck. But let's just assume we're going to get there first. You need to take off work. You need to get home, and we need to go see this house. Okay, I'm talking about the strategy of war here. This is if we're going to go after this house as if this is all that matters at this particular moment. We have to get there first. At the time that we get there first, you have to have your financing already locked in. You have to know what your payment is, and you have to be prepared to pay that payment and or above that payment, because we might need to go over the asking price. Hopefully at this point you've also seen other houses, so you know whether or not you're willing to pay over the asking price when we get there. Once we're in the house, assuming that you like it, you're ready, we need to make the offer immediately. We need to call the agent, and we need to start asking questions or interrogating them, depending on how you want to look at it. Okay, we need to know things like what's important to the seller. So some sellers don't want to do any repairs. Doesn't mean you have to forego the inspections, but some sellers don't want to do repairs. Some sellers want to go to settlement ASAP. They've already got a house picked out and they're ready to be out of this one, and they want to be gone. And maybe they're already living in another house and they moved in and they just want their money. Okay, so a fast settlement is important to them. Another seller might be looking for somebody who's going to allow them to stay there longer. Maybe what they wanted to do is get their house under contract and then go find one. Maybe we could do both. Maybe you can go to settlement on this house ASAP, but then also let them live there for a period of time until they find a house. Give them both. Now we're getting aggressive. The only way you're going to know all this is if you call the listing agent. I mean, obviously, I'm going to have to call the listing agent, but this is what I would do. I call the listing agent and ask all these questions. What's important to the seller? You only have so many levers that you can pull, only so many things that you have in your control. The date of settlement, the type of financing that you're doing, and the lender that you're working with is very important. What repairs that you may or may not ask for is very important. So let me just go over that one really quick. You don't have to forego the inspection, but you might forego the ability to upfront. I don't want to do a whole video on this because it's very nuanced, but I'm just going to say there's a way that you can approach these inspections that will let the seller know you're not going to nitpick them and that you're going to get it done quickly. So I have a home inspector that could be there within 48 hours. So again, if this is a house you're anticipating, we can call the home inspector and schedule the home inspection for, the day after you put the offer in. Let the homeowner know that you will have your decision on the repairs within 24 hours. And just let them know, God forbid, there's nothing wrong with the foundation, the roof's not caving in, the house isn't a total piece of crap. We're probably going to buy this house and we're not going to ask for anything. However, we need to make sure we're not missing something. We got to do our due diligence. You would expect that. And we're going to allow you to put the house back on the market if we decide, for instance, there's something wrong with it within 24 hours. That's the only risk you're taking, is that. All right, so the next one is the financing. Obviously, if you're getting financing, it's going to be very hard to compete with a cash offer. But I'll tell you, as somebody who sells a lot of houses, the cash offer thing is not as attractive as people might think it is. People assume that cash offers somehow can negate a $20,000 delta in the sales price. Most lenders are pretty good at their job, and there's ways to determine if somebody's qualified. So as a buyer, we need to demonstrate that we are very well qualified. So what that means is we're going to be working with my lender, probably somebody who all these real estate agents know. My lender is going to pick up the phone and call the listing agent and let them know that this is as good as gold. Then we're going to get the deal done in 30 days or less, letting them know we're not going to dilly-dally. The paperwork's already been turned in. We're just waiting on an address, an appraisal, and we're ready to lock this thing down. Letting them know that we're dead serious, that we've already done all the paperwork, that the financing is locked in. The lender's already looked at everything, not pre-qualified, pre-approved, like really been evaluated seriously. That's going to go a long way for a real estate agent, not necessarily the homeowner, because they don't necessarily understand the nuance nuances of all this. They don't understand how many deals fall apart because of financing, but the real estate agent will. So the real estate agent is going to be the one advising the clients. Like, another thing we need to keep in mind is that real estate agent is an advocate, not an adversary. The goal is to make that person an advocate for you. What I need to do is let them know that I'm going to be a partner that will get their deal to the table. So I let them know, listen, I am on it in the following ways. I've got the financing locked in with the best lender in Southern Maryland. I've got my home inspector lined up to do this deal tomorrow. I've already made sure my clients are aware they're not going to ask for any stupid things on the home inspection, and I'm here with your offer, and I'll have it to you within 30 minutes. And I'll get you a response back on any counter offers within 30 minutes. We can lock this thing in within an hour. I'll put a call into my admin, and I'll have it over in 10 minutes. They'll sign it standing in the living room of this house. I've done it before where we go to somebody's house with the intention of maybe buying it, having the contract written. The homeowner pulls out their phone, click, 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 signs everything. I send it to the agent, and I call the agent on the phone right then and there, lock it in. So then we need to make sure we're understanding what the seller is looking for, and then doing everything within our power to make sure this deal does not go any longer than absolutely necessary. And the question is something along the lines of, what is it going to take to get this house under contract tonight, today, within the next 2 hours? What kind of offer is it? And just leave that as an open-ended question. You know, you might be surprised. A lot of people are like, hey, all we want to do is just get a full price offer and, settle in 30 days or 45. We don't even care. We're fine. If you give us a full price offer, that's all right, good. You have it. Getting that real estate agent to be an advocate is key. We don't want to approach people as like they're the divorce attorney on the other team, and we need to beat them up and hate them and think badly about them. And we need them to be like, hey, listen, we like that realtor. We like those clients. They're all nice people. We feel that we want them to get this house. There's things you can do to persuade people of that. The goal is, when you are ready to get the house of your dreams or the one that you want to get locked in, you have to be aggressive. You have to be all about it. You have to be ready to kill and be killed. Take no prisoners. This is war. My name is Brian Mayer with the Mayer Group at eXp Realty. If you or somebody you know is in the market for a house in 2022, or maybe you're watching this in some other year, and you're looking for an aggressive real estate agent who's done this hundreds of times, who understands the market and what it takes to win, won't pressure you into doing something you shouldn't do, but will help you win when the time comes, give me a call. Make it a fantastic day.